Alright, hey everybody, and welcome to the Secret Box, where today we'll be discussing the NBA playoffs. I'm Noel, also known as the New York Baller.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Damien. Today we had many exciting matchups during the NBA playoffs. The first matchup we'll be discussing is the Indiana Pacers versus the Toronto Raptors. As you guys may have known, the Pacers took this game and won it. The game finished at 12:30 p.m. EST, started at 12:30 EST, and it was an exciting matchup. Paul George carried the team. He had 33 points, while Monte Ellis had 15 points. What's your take on that, Noel?
I think, personally, it was very surprising, everybody thought that the Raptors would probably pull off a win here at home, but the Pacers came into town, they came into the six, and they pulled off a win, and it was good for them.
Chris, how do you feel about this matchup?
Definitely it was surprising. I do think that the Pacers are going to pull off the series. I think that they might win in 6 or maybe even 7. But definitely today it was surprising because I thought, the Raptors, they really want to get past the first round, and at home, there's no other better place to win, but they just couldn't do it.
Do you think Drake had an impact?
Yeah, I do. Drake is too distracting. Summer 16.
Oh, okay.
The Raptors were looking for a man.
If you think about it, looking at the box score, Corey Joseph had the most points. He did better than Kyle Lowry and DeMar
Corey
DeRozan.
Joseph, he didn't do too well today.
But he had 18 points, Chris.
Kyle Lowry and DeMar, they didn't perform as everybody expected them to, and that's part of the reason why the Raptors didn't win today. When your star performers don't play as you want them to, things like this happen. An unexpected loss at home. So yeah.
Chris, your guy Ty Lawson, he only had 2 points in 16 minutes. How do you feel on that?
Your boy Toy.
Chris, you have any words on that? 2 points in 16 minutes.
It's all good, Chris. Maybe we'll get back to you on that.
We'll move on to our next matchup here. The Warriors and the Rockets. The Warriors absolutely blew out the Rockets. Honestly, I believe that the Rockets had no chance from the beginning. Looking at the box score here, I see that Steph Curry had 24 points. He had to leave the game early because of a hamstring injury. How do you feel on that, Noel?
I feel that was what I was expected to happen. 70 to 104, I think was the score. Blowout there at home in Oracle. So they pulled off a win, and that was good for them. Curry had maybe 20-something points in 20 minutes. Didn't play about half the game yet. He still had enough points and carried his team far enough so that they could win the game without him.
Looking at the points, what's most shocking is that Curry didn't even play the whole game, but he still had the most points for the whole Warriors team. Chris, what's your take?
To be honest, they didn't need him this game. The Warriors just too good, and the Rockets just aren't good enough. I'm pretty sure Curry hurt his ankle, not his hamstring.
Yeah, I was just gonna correct you on that, but
Oh, okay. Do you think?
So it shouldn't be too bad.
What about the whole series? Who do you think will win it?
Warriors in 4.
Yeah, Warriors in 4. Good choice, guys. Moving on to our next matchup was the Celtics and Hawks. Now, all of us saw this game live, and I have to say, it was an amazing game. Isaiah Thomas literally carried the Celtics throughout the matchup. And for the Hawks, Kent Bazemore surprisingly played well, along with Al Horford. What's your take on this game, guys?
So, obviously, the Celtics started off extremely slow, but kind of flip-flopped. In the second half, Atlanta really fell off, and the Celtics got really hot. But unfortunately, they couldn't make some last-minute shots, some clutch shots, and they ended up losing the game by 1 at the buzzer.
Do you guys think that they're playing the first half, the Celtics, terrible, not as good as it was supposed to be playing the first half, contributed to their loss in the second half?
Definitely. If they played as well as they did in the second half, they would have won easily.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
What's your take on this matchup, Noel?
I mean, I agree with everything you guys were saying. You know, I mean, I agree. It kind of did flip flop. I mean, very, very minor win for. I mean, not minor, but a good win for Atlanta. But they just barely hold on to that lead and 102 to 101 as we see the score. Not maybe what some people expected. I personally thought the Celtics might pull it off, and they almost did. But you know, I mean, I thought that their second half performance was pretty good. I mean, if they had played like that the whole game, without a doubt they would have won it.
Alright, so what do you guys think in the game? Who's going to win the series?
I gotta stick with the Celtics.
Celtics in how many games?
They're gonna turn it around.
Yeah, I feel it. Even though they lost the first game, I feel like that'll motivate them. You know, for the next few games, maybe in 5 they'll win it, maybe in 6.
I would say 6 as well. Moving on to Celtics. Moving on to a matchup that's going on right now as we record this, the Mavericks versus the Thunder. Right now, it's halftime, and the Thunder is basically destroying the Mavericks 59 to 33. As I'm going to take a look at the box score here, pull it up for us.
I mean, what else could you expect? It's the Thunder and the Mavericks. The Thunder, obviously, we know they're a great team. I mean, they weren't as good last year, all the injuries, but they're a great team up high in the Western Conference. The Mavericks, in my opinion, they just don't have it, you know? They just don't have what it takes to beat this great Thunder team. So I feel, if not a sweep, then Thunder in 5 is my opinion.
Yeah, I agree on that. I feel like the Mavericks, they can get one game off of the Thunder, maybe KD or Westbrook, they have like an off night or something, and they steal a win, the Mavs, but other than that, the Thunder is too dominant for them. I'd say 5.
Looking at the box score, I see that Kevin Durant has had 18 points, and only Dirk Nowitzki is basically doing anything for the Mavericks with 16 points. Everyone else on the team has less than 4 points. What's your take on that at halftime?
In the third quarter, 7 minutes, 5 seconds left. We see the score 37 to 67. Thunder up by 30 points. And we're not even halfway through the third. So, unless they pull off one of the greatest comebacks of all time, they're not winning this game or the series.
All right.
They need to have all players on the team who can play exceptionally if they're going to ever win a game or win the series.
So what do you guys think? Who's going to win the series? And in how many games?
Thunder in 5.
Noel?
Same, Thunder in 5, yeah.
I'm going to have to go with Thunder in 6.
Ooh. Got the Mavericks winning 2 games.
Yep.
Alright.
Moving on to tomorrow's matchups. You have something to say, Chris?
No.
Alright. Let's move on to tomorrow's matchups. The first matchup, which will be at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, will be the Pistons and the Cavaliers. How do you feel on that matchup, Noel?
I mean, I really like this matchup personally. It's like a little bit of a throwback to the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals with the Stan Van Gundy. Actually, never mind. I mean, it just reminds me of it because Stan Van Gundy coached the Orlando Magic team that LeBron went up against with the Cavaliers in 2009. So it's kind of like a re-meeting between them in the playoffs. LeBron back again with the Cavs and Stan Van Gundy, this time with a different team, the new Red Hot Pistons. So, you know, I feel even though they were the 8th seed, they might be able to pull a game in on the Cavs. And if not a game, then a sweep by the Cavs. But honestly, the Pistons, they're young and emerging, but...
Noel, you gotta always remember that Detroit won the regular season series 3-1. Do you think that'll play a factor in this playoff matchup?
I mean, I feel like it could, but then again, the playoffs are the playoffs. They're very different, you know. Anything could happen in the playoffs, but I feel that the Cavs will just pull it off, you know, and just win the series.
And Chris, What's your take on this
Especially
matchup?
now that it's playoff time, LeBron goes into his mode and he just gets hot. You can't stop him in the playoffs.
I completely agree with you. So who do you have winning the series?
I'd say Cavs in 5.
Cavs in 5, Noel?
Cavs in 5 to 6.
I'm going to go off the limb here and say Detroit in 7. I don't know why,
Ooh.
but I'm feeling that Detroit, Andre Drummond, can pull the team to a victory over the Cavs.
Upset of the season? Maybe.
In my opinion. I understand that now they have a healthy team with Kyrie and Kevin Love, but I don't know. Van Gundy can pull something off. Alright.
Van Gundy, man.
Anything's possible.
Anything's
The playoffs.
Yep.
Looking at the next matchup between the Hornets and Heat. The Hornets, which are one of my favorite teams, complete underdogs. Kemba Walker got in their back. How do you feel about this matchup, Noel?
I mean, you can't forget Jeremy Lin, Director Lin Sanity, the Charlotte Hornets, Michael Jordan, General Manager. It's gonna be an interesting matchup, Hornets, Heat. I mean, I feel like this is a playoff series, not many pay attention to as much, but trust me, it's surely an interesting one. We got Dwayne Wade, a new and emerging Hassan Whiteside. He's coming in high, with all those rebounds and blocks. And it'll be interesting to see some of the matchups, too, with Dwayne Wade and Kemba Walker. I just want to see this series and how it plays out, because honestly, I could have either team winning. So I couldn't be able to pick how many how many wins each team would get.
Looking at the Hornets, I see that they shoot a lot of 3 balls. Do you think that will be their downfall in this matchup or their upside?
I mean, you mean the Hornets or the Heat?
The Hornets.
Well, if they're successful at shooting the 3-pointers, then it should benefit them. But of course, any team could have their off nights, so it might be hard. And if they're gonna attempt to shoot a lot of threes, they better make them. They better be like some type of Warriors that night. I don't know. They better just make them,
And Chris, what's your take on this matchup?
Okay, so this is definitely the Heat have a slight upper hand, but it's very even. I think that Jeremy Lin and their bench is going to be a huge X factor for them, because if he goes off and relives some of that insanity magic, then they can definitely pull off the upset and move to the semifinals.
Alright, so who do you guys got winning this series?
Noel?
Honestly, it would take a little bit to consider this. But I would say, the Hornets, they haven't had playoff experience. This specific Hornets team hasn't had playoff experience altogether, so I would say Heat in 6.
I completely agree. I would also go for Heat in 6. And you, Chris?
I believe in the Hornets. I think that they're going to win the series in 7.
All right.
Yeah.
And our third matchup on that day would be the Grizzlies and the Spurs. 2 tough-notch defensive teams over here. Spurs, which were a seed 2 just behind the Warriors. What's your take on this matchup, guys?
You can go ahead, Chris. Yeah, go ahead.
I definitely think that Pop is going to have some good game plans set up for the Spurs. And I honestly don't see the Grizzlies pulling away with the game here.
And you know?
Ooh, the Spurs are just a dominant team. They have been for maybe the past decade or so. And the Grizzlies, nobody's been paying attention to the Grizzlies, I feel. There's a reason for that, They're a really grindy team, not many threes. They just do it their way, getting paid. It's got them to the 7th seed in the West so far, but when it comes to the playoffs, they're just not the team that's going to go above and beyond. They're the team that makes it to the playoffs and it's just one of those names that you see in the first round, and then as the playoffs progress, they kind of just disappear. You know, there's just one of those teams, the Philip team.
Calling the Grizzlies out. I completely agree. I don't think the Grizzlies have a chance. So I'm gonna go with Spurs in 5.
I might say Spurs sweep, actually.
And you, Chris? Chris, you there? We'll come back to you, Chris. Moving on to our next matchup. Oh, Chris, you there? Alright, so please, what's your take on the Grizzlies vs. Spurs? How many games?
Hello, Chris, you there?
Yeah.
What's your take on the matchup between Grizzlies and Spurs?
Yeah, the Spurs, I feel like they're going to pull off a sweep. And I just want to add something I just saw on Twitter. LeBron activated his 0 Dark 30 thing where he goes off of social media for the playoffs, so he'll definitely be fully concentrated on the playoffs.
Wow, this guy's legit.
Alright,
He makes he makes some sacrifices for basketball, but hopefully they pay off this time.
Yeah, we don't want him losing again. Come on, LeBron. Best player in the world? Come on.
LeBron's not the best player in the world. You're teasing.
No, he was.
Who is
Until
the best player in
Stephen
the
Curry
world?
was there.
No, Kristaps.
Kristaps.
Are you kidding? Come on. KP6 all the way. The European, like, little stick. Come on.
European Dirk Nowitzki.
No, he's a stick. Best player in the world. Hands down.
Alright.
Alright. Let's move on to your final matchup here.
The Blazers and
Boondoggle
yeah, jumping.
Chris Paul.
I think those State Farm commercials have had an impact on us all, and we think that they're gonna be dropping down. So I'm just playing with this Blazers and Clippers. It's gonna be an insane series. It's gonna be like